Dragon Age Inquisition is the third game in the Dragon Age series and was released in 2014. The series has been on my radar for a very long time, but I never got around to playing it. But today, I'm hoping to find the answer to a burning question. Who is Solas? And why does everyone seem to love him, but also hate him? And with Dragon Age Veilguard coming out very soon, I began my quest to romance Solas. I went into this game completely blind. I didn't know a single thing about the world, the characters, or anything that's happened in a previous game. I know it's not the right way to play this series, but I'm going to go back and play the first two games and I will make videos on them because now I'm hooked. Without further ado, let's get into it. If you know anything about me, I love character creation. I will spend hours in character creation. This one is okay. You can tell that it's 10 years old. I chose an elf. I always choose an elf. No, you can't have a fat ass in this game. Yes, I am disappointed. Hair options are really limited. Face options are pretty good, actually. There's a lot of customization you can do, although it very quickly turns into Uncanny Valley territory. After I created my character, I jumped right in the game, and I was being chased by spiders out of this dark, creepy place. I fell out of a crack in the sky, and now I'm chained up. Here, you see how the dialogue choices work and how to move around and attack enemies. We run up the mountain with the mean hot lady, and we're killing monsters, and apparently we're trying to reach this massive crack in the sky that I just happened to fall out of. Along the way, we run into Varric and Solas.
Quickly, before more come through!
Yeah, that's my man. Turns out we can actually close the cracks in the sky, and Solas knows how.
My name is Solas, if there are to be introductions. I am pleased to see you still live. Thank me if we manage to close the breach without killing you in the process.
After we meet up with our new friends, we continued up the mountain, slaying things and getting antagonized by religious dudes.
Criminal to Val Royeaux to face execution.
Don't ask me what religion they follow. I do not know, but they think I killed their leader, which, honestly, I might have. So we continued up the mountain, we made it to the soldiers.
Sealed, as before. You are becoming quite proficient at this.
Well, thank you. And then it was finally time to close the breach.
Bring forth the sacrifice.
What are we hearing?
At a guess, person who created the breach.
Someone help me! What's going on here? Run when you can! Want them!
We have an intruder. Slay the elf.
So I'm innocent.
Now! Seal the rift!
And then I woke up 3 days later, and everyone's calling me the Herald of Andraste. Don't know what that means.
Chain her! I want her prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
We find Liliana and Cassandra, the hot mean lady from the beginning, arguing with this guy who I'm gonna call the Pope. And she tells him to get lost, and then she declares an inquisition. I'm not exactly sure why we're becoming inquisitors, or for what god, but it's time to explore the open world. I always get overwhelmed in open world games because there's so much to do and there's so many things on the map. I did a lot of fighting and closing rifts, but in general, I still don't know what I'm doing, and I'm pretty sure I leveled my character wrong. After a while, I found the guy who wants to donate horses to our cause, and they want you to compete in time trial races. And if you win, you get the horses, and you get your own mount. The first one went fine, but when it came to the second one, I would finish the race, but it wouldn't complete. I thought that I was encountering a glitch, so I did it again, and the same thing happened again. Eventually, I realized I was running the race backwards. So I had to do it again, and on the third race, as we approached the end, my horse stepped on a rock in a weird way, and it kicked me off, so I had to do that one again too. But in the end, we did get the horses, and I got my mount, and his name is Pinky. He's a little quirky, but I love Medieval Horse Girl Simulator. I also realized that there's a war going on in this area. I think the Templars and the mages are killing each other, but I don't know why. I found this silly hat that I put on Solas because it makes him look not bald. Anyway, everyone kept talking about Redcliffe Village.
Redcliffe Village should be just ahead.
So eventually I did find it, and this cunty guard lady would not let me come in. Here's where I realized that I was doing something wrong. I kept thinking that if I explored enough of the map, it would unlock something, trigger maybe a camp event. So I wandered around for 3 in real life days. So I googled it. Your home base is in Haven, and that's where you progress in the story and talk to your friends. And you can go to Haven anytime you want. Once I figured this out, we were cooking with gas, dude. I was chatting up everybody, and there he was, with his toes out in the snow.
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating, but you understand my caution.
You came here to help, Solas. I won't let them use that against you.
How would you stop them?
However I had to.
Thank you.
Let's do a little introduction into Solas, because I don't want to play all those clips for you. Solas is a mage. He's different from the other mages. He has never been with a big group like the rest of them have. He's not involved in this war in any way, but he walks the Fade, which the Fade is what we fell out of in the beginning. He likes to go into the Fade while he sleeps. He just kind of walks around and experiences history being retold through the Fade. He really likes when I ask him questions and get his perspective. It boosts my approval rating with him. So I'm constantly asking him questions. He loves to yap. He's a yapper. When you're voiced by Gareth David Lloyd, that ain't a problem for me. Anyway, I can't believe it took me 15 real-life hours to figure this out, but here we are. And then I discovered the war table. Here, you can activate quests and build up your reputation and access new areas of the map. And finally, this game made sense to me, and the real story began. From the war table, we set out for the capital in Val Royeaux, where this racist old lady called us grifters, and then some Templar guy punched her. These guys suck though, so we're gonna pretend they don't exist, but then I got invited to a party and to visit the mages in Redcliffe. I met Sarah. She confused me, but she stole everyone's pants, so I'm down with her. And then I met Vivian. She is the most beautiful character I have ever seen in my life. Of course, they both joined our party. I went back to the hinterlands for a bit, and I found Blackwall.
Warden Blackwall?
You're not. How do you know my name? Who said that?
That is a man. I shot my shot immediately, expeditiously.
You're oddly charming for a man I found wandering the forest.
I always thought myself more odd than charming. But I'll take a compliment from a lady. They're hard to come by these days.
You can have more if you like. I store them in my private quarters.
Well, I was not expecting that.
Smash. I've killed so many bears in this game. The bear population in the hinterlands will never be the same. Back at Haven,
You train to flick a dagger or an arrow to its target. The grace with which you move is a pleasing side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
So you're suggesting I'm graceful?
No, I am declaring it. It was not a subject for debate.
he wants me so bad. After that, I went to the desert and I fought shit and closed rifts, and I got stuck in the ceiling as my party wiped, which was fun. But then it was time to visit Redcliffe Village. But apparently no one was expecting us, which was weird because we were invited.
Consider this an invitation to Redcliffe. What has brought you to Redcliffe?
Is this some sort of test? We're here because you invited us in Val Royeaux.
You must be mistaken.
Turns out she already dedicated the mages to some people in Tevinter. whatever that is. But in doing so, made them indentured servants to this guy, Alexius. We met with him to discuss, but his son fell over and passed us this note.
Come to the Chantry. You are in danger.
Ooh, very mysterious.
And in the Chantry, we met Dorian. He lets us know what's really going on.
Let's start with Alexius claiming the allegiance of the mage rebels out from under you. As if by magic, yes? Which is exactly right. To reach Redcliffe, before the Inquisition, Alexius distorted time itself.
So we're not crazy. She did invite us, but she just got time magicked. Anyway, Dorian knows about this because he used to work for the guy and helped him develop this kind of magic. But Dorian wants to help us stop him. Back at the war table, we formed a plan for my party to play the bait and some troops to try and sneak in and get the upper hand. That was going great until I showed my hand too early, and Dorian and I got sent 1 year into the future, where everything went to shit because I disappeared.
You're alive! We saw you die!
We just got here, so to speak.
Alexius served a master, the Elder One. He reigns now unchallenged.
This is where I actually started to care about the game. This part was so sad. Liliana was being tortured. It was awful. This whole quest was just heartbreaking, but I'm in it now. I cannot fail these people. In the end, we kicked Bro's ass, and our future friends sacrificed themselves so we could go back to the present day and make sure that this day never happened. With Alexius gone, the mages were once again free. But the royalty in Redcliffe is now super pissed at Girly Pop, so I offered them a place at the Inquisition. Cullen and Cassandra are kinda pissed at me, but I secured the mages as allies to close the breach. And Dorian officially joined our team. But now we know the Elder One knows that we interfered, and he will be coming for us. After all that, I needed a break from the action, so I went to the Storm Coast, and this is where I found Iron Bull. I brought his team on as mercenaries. We ran around there until I saw this dragon from a distance and promptly booked it back to Haven. This game has some really goofy glitches sometimes, but this one is my favorite. Now that we have the support of the mages, it was finally time to close the rift for real.
Let her will draw from you.
I won't lie, Commander Solas had me feeling some type of way. Although, what are you wearing? I say that like I didn't dress him. And we did it! With the big rift closed, it was time to party. But not for long. We spotted lights coming across the mountains. We were under attack. This kid named Cole came to warn us, but then we saw it. Armies marching over the mountains with this freak. I don't know what I expected the villain to look like in this game, but it definitely wasn't this. It was a full-on battle. Cullen was commanding the troops, and we were setting off the trebuchets, and we brought an avalanche down on them, but they have a dragon? So we booked it into the gates, and I tried to save people who were trapped in buildings, but I was really stressed out and we lost a lot of people. But we managed to make it to the Chantry, where the Pope guy that hates us from the beginning led our friends to an escape route, but they needed time. And his name is Corypheus, by the way. And Corypheus only really wants me, so of course I had to stay behind and fight. To make a long story short, he kicked my ass. He's even scarier up close and he's massive. But this line went hard.
For I have seen the throne of the gods, and it was empty.
But he did tell me that the anchor is permanent, and then I brought down an avalanche on both of us, but we both got away. I woke up in a mine shaft with a new ability, and I wandered through the snow until my friends found me. Our friends had gotten away safely and set up a temporary camp, but we lost a lot of people, including the angry Pope guy. And now we're homeless and on top of a mountain. When I woke up, the War Council was fighting in front of everyone, which is great for morale, guys. keep it up. But then everyone started singing, and it was honestly a beautiful moment. Solas was looking at me like this during it, and I think he was admiring me. Either way, he pulled me to the side and told me that the artifact that Corypheus uses is Elven. And then he led us to our new home. This place is freaking huge. Everyone has their own space or their own room, and I have the penthouse with a view. I spent like 2 hours just walking around, talking to people, catching up, mourning our lost friends, and planning our next moves. Also, they elected me as their leader, so now everyone calls me the Inquisitor. This is just like another really powerful scene,
The
so
one
I'll just
who
let
has
you watch.
already been leading it. You.
I will lead us against Corypheus, and I will be an ambassador. I'm an elf standing for Thedas. The Inquisition is for all.
Will they follow?
Inquisition, will you follow? Your leader, your herald, your Inquisitor!
Once you get to Skyhold, the game really changes. You have so much more control over the environment, how things look, and what you're wearing. And then, it happened.
Why here?
Haven is familiar. It will always be important to you. I sat beside you while you slept, studying the anchor.
I'm glad someone was watching over me.
You were a mystery. You still are. You were never going to wake up. How could you? A mortal sent physically through the Fade. I watched the rifts expand and grow, resigned myself to flee, and then... You had sealed it with a gesture. And right then, I felt the whole world change.
Felt the whole world change?
A figure of speech.
I'm aware of the metaphor. I'm more interested in felt.
You change everything.
Sweet talker.
We shouldn't. It isn't right. Not even here.
What do you mean, even here?
Where do you think we were?
This isn't real.
That's a matter of debate. Probably best discussed after you wake up.
Why am I twirling my hair right now? To be honest, up until this point, I was just here for the plot. But if he's gonna kiss me like that, oh, I'm sad.
Sleep well?
I've never done anything like that before. On a number of levels.
I apologize. The kiss was impulsive and ill-considered, and I should not have encouraged it.
You did kiss me back. If I'm pressuring you...
No, you're not. I am perhaps pressuring myself. It has been a long time, and things have always been easier for me in the Fade. I am not certain this is the best idea. It could lead to trouble.
I'm willing to take that chance, if you are.
Maybe, yes. If I could take a little time to think. There are considerations.
Take all the time you need.
Thank you. I am not often thrown by things that happen in dreams.
After that, I gave him some space and went to explore and catch up with my friends. Apparently, I had a very high romance level with Blackwall because I had to put an end to things. I'm all in on my Egghead Mage. After lots of exploring and personal quests, I did my first official act as Inquisitor. I threw Alexius, the time magic guy, in jail. I ended up in Solas's room again.
Something wrong with your tea?
It is tea. I detest this stuff. But this morning, I need to shake the dreams from my mind. I may also need a favor.
You just have to ask.
One of my oldest friends has been captured by mages, forced into slavery. I heard the cry for help as I slept.
When your friend was captured, how did she...
It.
It?
My friend is a spirit of wisdom. Unlike the spirits clamoring to enter our world through the rifts, it was dwelling quite happily in the Fade. It was summoned against its will, and wants my help to gain its freedom and return to the Fade.
So, of course, I dropped everything, and we took off to the Exalted Plains. When we found the friend, Solas was pissed.
My friend. Ah!
Anything you want to share, Solas?
That is not its natural form. It's been corrupted!
Corrupted?
Forced to act against its original purpose. What did they do? What did they do? What did they do?
And this guy made it so much worse.
A mage! You're not with the bandits? Do you have any lyrium potions? Most of us are exhausted. We've been fighting that demon.
You summoned that demon! Except it was a spirit of wisdom at the time. You made it kill! You twisted it against its purpose!
I understand how it might be confusing to someone who has not studied demons, but after you help us, I can...
We are not here to help you.
Word of advice. I'd hold off on explaining how demons work to my friend here.
Listen to me. I was one of the foremost experts in the Kirkwall
Shut up. You bound it to obedience, then commanded it to kill. That is when it turned. The summoning circle. We break it, we break the binding. No orders to kill, no conflict with its nature, no demon.
What? The binding is the only thing keeping the demon from killing us. Whatever it was before, it is a monster now.
Inquisitor, please!
I'll do everything I can to save your friend, Solas.
Thank you.
In the end, we tried to save his friend, but they were too far gone.
Manu vinin. Dareth Shara.
I heard what it said. It was right. You did help it.
No. I must endure.
Let me know if I can help.
This clip was so sad, but the entire interaction between Solas and the Inquisitor is so gentle, and it just shows how much they care for each other. But Solas was still pissed. Honestly, I just let him do what he was kind of fixing to do. I never claimed to be the hero. He dipped, and the rest of us just stood there.
Inquisitor.
How are you, Solas?
It hurts. It always does. But I will survive.
Thank you for coming back.
You were a true friend. You did everything you could to help. I could hardly abandon you now.
The next time you have to mourn, you don't need to be alone.
It's been so long since I could trust someone.
I know.
I'll work on it. And thank you.
A while later, I went to check on him, and he wanted to speak privately.
Inquisitor, Do you have a moment? What were you like before the anchor? Has it affected you? Changed you in any way? Your mind? Your morals? Your spirit?
I don't believe so.
Ah.
Why do you ask?
You show a wisdom I have not seen since my deepest journeys into the ancient memories of the Fade. You are not what I expected.
What have I done that's so surprising?
You have shown subtlety in your actions. A wisdom that goes against everything I expected. If the Dalish could raise someone with a spirit like yours, have I misjudged them?
Most of the Dalish care more about impressing other hunters with a good shot or talking about how awful humans are. There are only a few who seem to care about the old ways.
Perhaps people act with so little understanding of the world, but not you.
So what does this mean, Solas?
It means I have not forgotten the kiss.
Good. Don't go.
It would be kinder in the long run, but losing you would... Lath Mavanan.
I took him to my penthouse and I freaked it. Y'all. And that thing he said while he was walking away, because I had to Google it. I love you, my heart, in Elvish. Anyways, we lived happily ever after, the end. It's so angsty. Like, why doesn't he look at you when he says this? Why are you walking away? You should be holding me. I love them so much. Now, let's get back into the actual gameplay. Varric contacted an old friend, and a few days later, Hawk showed up at Skyhold.
Inquisitor, meet Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall. I figured you might have some friendly advice about Corypheus. You and I did fight him after all.
I have since learned that Hawk is the player character from a previous game, so if I had played Dragon Age 2, that would have been me. Hawk and Varric fought Corypheus in the last game and killed him, but somehow he's back. It's our job to put him down for good. Also, Cassandra is pissed at Varric for waiting so long to contact Hawk. Don't ask me previous game stuff. I did a ton of side quests and companion quests, like too many to fit in this video, so I'm gonna rapid fire my favorites. Josephine being a gossip. I fought a dragon and won. Blackwall wants me so bad.
You have the world at your feet, myself included.
I accidentally went to the Deep Roads, which is a DLC thing that I didn't need to do. My friends pushed me off this beam into the abyss. I started noticing these wolf statues everywhere. What are those for? This creepy house quest in the Emerald Graves. Drinking with Iron Bull. Playing chess with Cullen. And my favorite, Solas having a bitch off with every other mage.
The technique is not Tevinter. It is Elven.
Oh, that means we... never mind then.
But do go on about the wonders of Tevinter magic.
I saved countless regions and restored order to most of Thedas and killed so many enemies and bears. But now it's time for my favorite quest ever, Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts. I loved every minute of this quest. It was giving Rain. It was giving Bridgerton. Why were we all dressed like nutcrackers? Seriously, what the fuck is this fit? My Inquisitor would have worn a dress. Thank you very much. Anyway, let me give you the rundown. We got invited to a ball by the Grand Duke. This ball is being hosted by Empress Celine. Empress Celine is the ruler of Orlais. The Grand Duke, who invited us, wants to knock her off the throne. With that in mind, our job for this quest is to use the power of gossip to uncover a secret plot to slay the Empress, all while keeping up a good appearance at court. It was so fun. I was running around, being nosy, searching for clues, finding bodies, and dancing with the enemy. If you leave the party, people at court will take notice and your ranking drops. I was having a goddamn blast. They even announce your presence and listen to what they called Solas.
The Lady Inquisitor's elven serving man, Solas.
But the announcers got one thing right. He is serving. Look at him.
I do adore the heady blend of power, intrigue, danger, and sex that permeates these events.
If he keeps talking like that, he can permeate my... Sorry, what were we talking about? I met Goth Mommy Morrigan. Love her. After the dance, the War Council wanted to chat, and Liliana's like, damn, maybe we should just let the Empress die. Relax. Turns out the girlie who we danced with is in cahoots with Corypheus, and she's the assassin. But the Duke who invited us is the mastermind behind it all. She made her move on the Empress, and we promptly kicked her ass. And then I got to tell on everyone. Saving the Empress made a great impression on the court and secured an alliance with the Orlesian army. Morrigan joined the Inquisition, and our favorite mage found me on the balcony.
I'm not surprised to find you out here. Thoughts?
We achieved all our goals. I'm enjoying the moment of peace while it lasts.
You should. They're fleeting enough. Hang on to them when you can. Come. Before the band stops playing, dance with me.
I'd love to.
They're so cute, I love them so much. Back at Skyhold, there was so much to do, so here's more rapid-fire quests. Iron Bull likes redheads.
Redheads.
Noted. Cullen and all of the Templars are struggling with lyrium addiction. I fell off a bridge and got trapped in a death loop. Twice. Solas picked me up on a rock. And the ladies love Cullen.
I have requests for information on your lineage from a few interested parties at the Winter Palace.
Andraste preserve me. Feel free to use those requests as kindling.
No, I shall take them. I want to know who pines for our commander. We can use this to our advantage.
I'm not bait.
Hush. Just look pretty.
Back to the main story, we had to stop this guy, Aramond, from corrupting all of the Grey Wardens. And this was like a full-on siege of a building, and it was really long, so I will summarize. The Grey Wardens, right? Blackwell is a Grey Warden. He's the only Grey Warden that we could find because the rest have gone missing. They are all hearing the calling. Essentially, they think that they're doing the right thing, saving the world, fulfilling their duty, their oath, but in reality, they're just being manipulated by Corypheus and Aramond. Aramond is doing this ritual that kills a Grey Warden and then also binds a mage to Corypheus. In preparation for this confrontation, we had found Stroud, this Grey Warden who was still active, who wasn't hearing the calling. We brought him along, and we also brought Hawk. And of course, Corypheus sent his dragon. Eventually, their leader realizes that they're being manipulated, and then she becomes a dragon snack. Things exploded, the bridge fell, and we fell with it. And we landed in the Fade, because I opened a portal. And of course, our man is excited about it.
I never thought I would ever find myself here physically. Look, the Black City. Almost close enough to touch.
This must be very exciting for you, Solas. Any advice you have on what exactly is going on would be wonderful.
What spirit commands this place? I have never seen anywhere like it.
It's not how I remember the Fade either. Perhaps it's because we're here, physically, instead of just dreaming. The stories say you walked out of the Fade at Haven. Was it like this?
I don't know. I still can't remember what happened the last time I did this.
Well, whatever happened at Haven, we can't assume we're safe now.
We walked around until we found someone who looked like Divine Justinia. She helped us restore our stolen memories of the Conclave explosion and how we escaped the Fade the first time.
Keep running! Ah!
Why are you doing this? You, of all people.
Keep the sacrifice still.
Someone help me! What's going on here?
It was you. They thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade, but it was the Divine behind me. And then you. She died.
And there we have it. My getting the anchor was not divine intervention, and I am not the Herald of Andraste. I'm just an idiot who was at the wrong place at the right time. Eventually, we collected all the memories and found our way out, but someone had to stay behind to cover us from this big spider. And I chose Hawk. But I will never do that again because Varric was so heartbroken.
Where's Hawk?
Hawk sacrificed his life to save us and strike a decisive blow against Corypheus.
Well?
I had empathy for the Wardens because they were being manipulated, so I let them join the Inquisition.
You stay and do whatever you can to help.
A controversial decision amongst my party. Solas was big mad at me. And I had to go hug Varric. I'm so sorry. Once again, we foiled Corypheus's plans, and now his troops are on the run. Morrigan showed us this magic mirror. It's ancient elven and incredibly rare. Keep this in mind for later. All of these mirrors connect, and they lead to this place called the Crossroads. Corypheus wants one of these mirrors, and that's where he's going next. Later, I sat in judgment of a ton of people and committed my first public execution. Cool. And then I hit the salon. And by that, I mean I added cosmetic mods to my game. Okay, listen, I usually play entirely vanilla on my first playthrough, but I could not look at this fuck-ass haircut anymore. And Vivian was saying that I should look the part too, so story-wise, I'll just say that this was her doing. Anyway, now I had to take my yossified self over to my man, and they look so good together. And of course, I had to go flirt with Cullen a little.
A life of service and sacrifice. Are Templars also expected to give up physical temptations?
Physical? Why... why would you... Some may choose to give up more to prove their devotion, but it's not required.
Have you?
Me? No. I've taken no such vows. Maker's breath. Can we speak of something else?
Just as I was going to chat with the other man who worships the ground I walk on, he wasn't there. Rude. Leliana's team helped us track him to a public execution.
For the murders of General Vincent Callier and their retainers, you are sentenced to be hanged from the neck until dead.
Well, this is grim.
Proceed.
Stop! This man is innocent of the crimes laid before him. Orders were given and he followed them like any good soldier. He should not die for that mistake.
Then find me the man who gave the order.
Oh, shit.
Blackwall!
No, I am not Blackwall. I never was Blackwall. Warden Blackwall is dead, and has been for years. I assumed his name to hide like a coward from who I really am. I gave the order. The crime is mine. I am Tom Rainier.
They threw him in jail, but because we have clout, Josie was able to get him out, and I could pass judgment on him. Of course, I let him off the hook. I mean, not really off the hook, he still has to go on an apology tour, but I believe that people can change. Later on, I stumbled into an argument between Cole and Solas. Cole wants to be bound to someone so he can't be influenced like other spirits, and Solas is against this, but he thinks we can find an amulet to bind him to.
It is simple enough. You put it on, I charge it with magic, and you should be protected.
We know it's not just going to work, right? It never just works.
Have faith, Inquisitor.
What was that? Oh, what are you doing to the kid?
Something is interfering with the enchantment.
Something like Cole not being a demon?
This whole scene is giving parents their teenage son and cool Uncle Varric. I actually really struggled with picking sides on this one because I just want my son to be happy. Either way, we took off to find the source of the problem.
You killed me. You forgot. You locked me in the dungeon in the spire, and you forgot, and I died in the dark.
The spire?
Cole, stop.
Just take it easy, kid.
He killed me. He killed me. That's why it doesn't work. He killed me, and I have to kill him back.
Cole, this man cannot have killed you. You are a spirit. You have not even possessed a body.
They threw him into the dungeon in the spire at Val Royeaux. They forgot about him. He starved to death. I came through to help. And I couldn't. So I became him.
Can you feel this man's pain, Cole?
He remembers now. He knows he killed me.
No. Feel his pain. His guilt. The shame that drove him from the Templars.
I'm so sorry.
He's hurting, Cole. And you are a spirit of compassion.
Forget.
I believe we are finished here. It appears to be working. Cole should be adequately protected.
What matters is his happiness. Cole, how are you feeling?
I am well. There is work. Wounded to help, hurts to heal, but the weight is off.
Could have been a person.
Possibly.
And then I took him for a little bonding moment, and we meddled in people's personal lives.
He wants his wife to tie his hands to the bedposts. Little silk ribbons. He worries she'll hate him.
He really takes after me. What can I say? Once again, more rapid-fire side quests. We caught Cassandra reading Varric's smutty book.
So you like to read? What's wrong with that?
That's just her favorite.
Nobody asked you to winter.
I couldn't finish the last one you lent me. I actually feel dumber for having tried.
It's literature. Smutty literature.
Maybe I should read that book.
I pulled pranks with Sarah. I found this weirdo. I accidentally turned Liliana to the dark side. Oops. My entire clan was wiped out after I made contact with them through the war table. And then nothing happened, and no one consoled me about it, not even my man. Iron Bull refused orders from his people, and now he's cut off. And a bunch of us got together and played Wicked Grace.
I win again.
Deal again. I've figured out your tells, Lady Ambassador.
I want another chance to win my dignity back. Deal me in.
Don't say a word, dwarf.
I tried to warn you, Curly.
Never bet against an Antivan, Commander.
I'm leaving. I don't want to witness our commander's walk of shame back to the barracks.
Well, I do.
It is time once again to foil Corypheus's plans, but this time in the Arbor Wilds. He wants this magic mirror, the Illuvian, and we can't let that happen. Our armies gathered for war once again, and we launched an attack. Side note, these battle prep scenes are always sick.
These are but remnants. They will not keep us from the Well of Sorrows.
And Morrigan apparently knows nothing about that. This is where shit gets wild because Corypheus died. Like, he melted. And then he just came back to life in someone else's body.
It cannot be! Across the bridge, now!
Every time I think we've reached the max level of freak that this guy can be, he breaks the scale. Once we get into the temple, there's a series of puzzles to complete as trials, and we have to stop Corypheus's men from reaching the well. We came across yet another wolf statue.
Why would this be here?
Something wrong?
It depicts the dread wolf, Ven-Harel. In elven tales, he tricks their gods into sealing themselves away in the beyond for all time. Setting Ven-Harel in Methal's greatest sanctum is as blasphemous as painting Andraste naked in the chantry.
My clan set statues of the dread wolf outside our camp. They're meant to frighten harmful spirits.
Perhaps. I thought the ancient elves above quaint superstitions.
For all your knowledge, Lady Morrigan, you cannot resist giving legend the weight of history. The wise do not mistake one for the other.
Pray tell, what meaning does our elven expert sense lurking behind this?
None we can discern by staring at it.
We can send for historians once peace is brought to this forest.
The inhabitants of this temple may not appreciate guests.
Moving on, we made it to the well and so did Samson, but we kicked his ass. The guard wanted to destroy the well to protect it, but we calmed him down enough to talk.
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mythal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. All that we knew, it would be lost forever.
This can't be easy holding on to what's left.
You cannot imagine.
There are other places, friend, other duties. Your people yet linger.
Elven such as you?
Yes, such as I.
You have shown respect to Mythal, and there is a righteousness in you I cannot deny. Brave it if you must. But know you this. You shall be bound forever to the will of Mythal.
He also clears up a lie about Mythal's disappearance.
Elven legend states that Mythal was tricked by Ven-Harel and banished to the beyond.
Elven legend is wrong. The Dread Wolf had nothing to do with her murder.
Murder? I said nothing of...
She was slain, if a god truly can be.
It's like an ancient game of telephone. and I hate it.
I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
Or more likely to your own ends?
What would you know of my ends, elf?
You are a glutton drooling at the sight of a feast. You cannot be trusted.
Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
Thoughts?
She is right about only one thing. We should take the power which lies in that well.
You're asking me?
Any chance this well could help us against Corypheus? I say you take it.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
If anyone is to use the well, it will be me.
In the end, I decided to drink from the well, although I really did not want to, and Solas is pissed at me. So is Morrigan. But there was no time to argue because Corypheus was coming for our asses.
The Illuvian!
But because I slurped up the well, I know how to kill Corypheus. And all we have to do is kill his dragon. Easy, right? Right? Because Solas disapproved, I went to check in with him.
I begged you not to drink from the well. Why could you not have listened?
Solas.
You gave yourself into the service of an ancient elven god!
What does that mean exactly?
You are Mythal's creature now. Everything you do, whether you know it or not, will be for her. You have given up a part of yourself.
You don't even believe in the ancient elven gods.
I don't believe they were gods, no, but I believe that they existed. Something existed to start the legends. If not gods, then mages, or spirits, or something we've never seen. And you are bound to one of them now. I suppose it is better you have the power than Corypheus. Which leads to the next logical question. What will you do with the power of the well once Corypheus is dead?
The war proved that we can't go back to the way things were. I'll try to help this world move forward.
You would risk everything you have in the hope that the future is better. What if it isn't? What if you wake up to find the future you shaped is worse than what was?
I'll take a breath, see where things went wrong, and then try again.
Just like that.
If we don't keep trying, we'll never get it right.
You're right. Thank you.
For what?
You have not been what I expected, Inquisitor. You have impressed me. You have offered hope. That if one keeps trying, even if the consequences are grave, that someday things will be better.
You're being grim and fatalistic in the hope of getting me into bed, aren't you?
I am grim and fatalistic. Getting you into bed is just an enjoyable side benefit. Come with me, Vanan. The veil is thin here. Can you feel it on your skin, tingling? I was trying to determine some way to show you what you mean to me.
That's not necessary, Solas. You're my...
That is the question, is it not? For now, the best gift I can offer is the truth. You are unique. In all Thedas, I never expected to find someone who could draw my attention from the Fade. You have become important to me. More important than I could have imagined.
As you are to me.
Then what I must tell you, the truth, your face, the Valasleen. In my journeys in the Fade, I have seen things. I have discovered what those marks mean.
They honor the elven gods.
No, they are slave markings. Or at least they were in the time of ancient Alathan.
So this is... what? Just one more thing the Dalish got wrong?
I'm sorry.
We try to preserve our culture. And this is what we keep? Relics of a time when we were no better than Tevinter.
Don't say that. For all they got wrong, the Dalish did one thing right. They made you. I didn't tell you this to hurt you. If you like, I know a spell. I can remove the Valasleen.
These marks have been part of me for so long. I don't know if...
I'm so sorry for causing you pain. It was selfish of me. I look at you and I see what you truly are. And you deserve better than what those cruel marks represent.
I know you told me because you wanted to help. But the Valisleen is part of who I am. I hope you can...
Stop. You are perfect exactly as you are. And I am sorry. I distracted you from your duty. It will never happen again.
Solas.
Please, Vanan.
Solas, don't leave me, not now. I love you.
You have a rare and marvelous spirit. In another world.
Why not this one?
I can't. I'm sorry.
What the fuck? He took me to this beautiful grove, told me he brought me here to show me how much I meant to him, offered to get rid of my tattoos, said that I was beautiful just the way that I am, kissed me like that, just to dump me? I will never recover from this. I understand everything now. I see why you love him. I see why you hate him. It makes sense. You guys are right.
Inquisitor, how may I help you prepare for our final battle?
I'd like to discuss what happened before, Solas.
I'm afraid that wouldn't be appropriate at this time. We must focus on what truly matters. Harden your heart to a cutting edge, and put that pain to good use against Corypheus.
It would help me if you could explain why.
The answers would only lead to more questions, an emotional entanglement that would benefit neither of us. The blame is mine, not yours. It was irresponsible and selfish of me. Let that be enough.
Will you talk to me when we have finished with Corypheus?
If we are both still alive afterward, then I promise you, everything will be made clear. Let me know if I can be of any more help in planning our final fight.
And now he's just calling me Inquisitor, and he's not even gonna tell me why we broke up until after we take out Corypheus. But he promised, so I'm holding him to it. But I could not believe this shit. I actually stopped playing for a few days because I was so upset. But I needed to take out my feminine rage on that freak, so we soldier on. I needed to summon Mythal, which meant going to her altar, and the newfound voices inside my head told me where to go. I sound insane. I told the squad to get lost, especially Solas, but Morrigan showed up to help, and it turns out Mythal's vessel is Morrigan's mother. I'm assuming the context here comes from an earlier game, but she says all we have to do is tame this dragon, and we can use him in the fight. Also, Iron Bull trying to be sneaky is taking me out. With our dragon in hand, it was time for the final battle, and to learn why my ass got dumped. But our discussion was so rudely interrupted when Corypheus came to us.
We could send word to Orzammar, hire envoys to...
Corypheus.
He did that? But why?
Either I close the breach again, or it swallows the world.
But that's Magnus. Wouldn't it kill him as well?
Inquisitor, we have no forces to send with you. We must wait for them to return from the Arbor Wilds.
Just as Corypheus expects, I suppose.
I knew you would come.
It ends here, Corypheus.
And so it shall. You have been most successful in foiling my plans. But let us not forget what you are. A thief in the wrong place, at the wrong time. An interloper, a gnat. We shall prove here, once and for all, which of us is worthy of godhood.
I didn't come here to become a god, Corypheus.
If you desire death,
the beardless stone worshipper,
run as fast as your little legs can take you.
So you're reduced to dwarf jokes now?
Enough!
let it end here! Let the skies boil! Let the world be rent asunder!
The breach is getting bigger!
And then the fate swallows the world, right?
Not like this! I have walked the halls of the Golden City, crossed the ages. Do not, ancient ones, I beseech you! If you exist, if you ever truly existed, aid me now!
Wanted into the Fade? Solas?
The orb.
I know you wanted the orb saved. I'm so sorry.
It is not your fault.
There's more, isn't there?
It was not supposed to happen this way. No matter what comes, I want you to know that what we had was real.
Inquisitor! Are you alive? Then it's over. How lovely.
And the sky is healed, healthy, whole. There's just that left to remember.
Looks that way.
What do we do now?
We go back to Skyhold.
Back at Skyhold, Solas left. He promised to tell me the truth, and he just left.
He has simply vanished. If he does not wish to be found, there's likely nothing we can do. But I will keep looking.
I just don't understand. He didn't even say goodbye.
The two of you were close. Perhaps he had no choice. He might return at any moment.
Maybe.
And now there's a party, but I'm depressed. I love my friends, but everyone's reminiscing on the journey, and I can't stop thinking about the one person who's missing. I talked to everybody and I waved my friends goodnight and retired to my chamber. In the end, the world is left with a reminder of what almost ended it. Empress Celine is still on the throne, but Briala is planning her return. I really didn't talk about Briala much, but she's coming back apparently. Celine still supports the Inquisition, but her reign is weakening. The Grey Wardens are rebuilding. Leliana has been named the new Divine, and she disbands the Circle of Magi. And our mages have formed the College of Enchanters. As for the Inquisition, we have become a threat to the powers that be, but we've also become a symbol for change and a target, and that was it. Or was it?
I knew you would come. You should not have given your orb to Corypheus, Red Wolf.
I was too weak to unlock it after my slumber. The failure was mine. I should pay the price. But the people, they need me. I am so sorry.
I am sorry as well, old friend.
So Solas is the Dreadwolf? The orb belonged to him? And he gave it to Corypheus? The real villain was in my bed the whole time. No wonder he ran off, because I would have started swinging. My audio glitched, and it caught my actual reaction to this reveal. I was told to withhold judgment until I finished the Trespasser DLC. I'm not gonna go into a lot of depth here. I really just wanted to be finished at this point. So I skipped a lot of the DLC here. Don't judge me, I'll come back to it eventually when I'm not on a time crunch, thank you. Trespasser takes place 2 years after the death of Corypheus. The Inquisition is called for a meeting at the Winter Palace, and all of our friends are back in town, except one. Varric is the new Viscount of Kirkwall, and he also offered me a place to stay if things go poorly, which really warms my heart. Blackwall went on an apology tour. Cassandra is rebuilding the Seekers, which is the organization she was brought up in. She is Seeker Cassandra. I don't think I ever mentioned that, actually. Also, she thought I was getting married.
It's not about me. It's about you. Maybe you should sit.
I can stand.
Maybe I should sit. Inquisitor, I want you to know that I am your friend. I will always be your friend.
Oh, well, that's...
So I hope to give you sound advice on this momentous day. Do what is in your heart, my friend, no matter what anyone might tell you.
That's a lovely sentiment, Cassandra.
Marriage is much more than a lovely sentiment, Inquisitor.
Marriage?
I can't imagine who it is. Maker knows you've kept it secret, but if marriage is... You're not proposing to anyone. I am going to kill Varric.
Who would I be getting married to? You know my man left me 2 years ago. Cole, my adopted son, is playing matchmaker. Josephine and I saw a play. Cullen adopted a dog. Vivian and I had a spa day. She also asked me how I'm doing after Solas. That's my fucking girl right there. I tried to distract Iron Bull by yapping. And my bestie Dorian is now the ambassador for Tevinter.
Inquisitor, how long has it been? Don't actually tell me. I despise feeling old.
This DLC is big on the politics side of things, which I tend to enjoy, but I will keep this simple. Ferelden wants us gone. Orlais wants to absorb us, and the Chantry is invested. And Tevinter is here, I guess. Things are tense, but I'm called away from the meeting because there's been a murder. Someone found a dead Qunari agent, and I followed the blood trail all the way to an alluvion. Remember those rare magic mirrors from before? Yeah, they're everywhere in this DLC. More on that later though. I grabbed a party and jumped in. It also crashed like 10 times before I got it to work. Seeing the X on his card made me so sad because I did not know who to bring with me. He never left my party, ever. We end up in the crossroads and we follow a blood trail to an alluvion that takes us to the middle of nowhere, where we find Qunari turned to stone. I'm gonna be honest, this whole DLC is just your character and your party learning things that you as a player pretty much already know, but your character's kind of piecing things together. But to summarize, the elven gods were not actually gods, they were just powerful mages. And this place is a former sanctuary for enslaved elves created by Fen Harel, or as we know him, Solas. Fen Harel's entire platform is basically built around freeing enslaved elves. That's why Solas offered to remove our tattoos, our Valisleen, because he is Fen Harel and that's kind of his whole thing. Oh, and he created the veil, like the thing that separates the Fade from the real world, the thing that Corypheus was trying to bring down. Yeah, he created that. And we were sleeping with him. Turns out the Qun are chasing after an agent of Fen Harel. I wonder who that could be. And everyone thinks we're in cahoots with this person, and we're confused because we still don't know that it's Solas. So now we're going to war with the Qun.
So, who gets to tell Cullen and Josephine we're probably at war with the Qun? Anyone?
Don't look at me.
Ugh, they're going to kill me.
Our advisory board is falling apart.
Once we locate the spies...
This isn't about the spies. You hid the Qunari body. You've all but seized control of the Winter Palace.
We did what was right, not what was politically convenient.
This has cost us with Orlais and Ferelden. They are planning to dismantle us as we speak. And perhaps they are right.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, the Anchor is trying to kill me.
Shit, damn it! We save Ferelden, and they're angry. We save Orlais, and they're angry. We close the breach twice, and my own hand wants to kill me. Could one thing in this fucking world just stay fixed?
And the fights in the DLC are obnoxiously hard. I'm playing on the lowest difficulty, and I wiped so many times. All the while, the Qun are trying to take control of our magic by killing our leaders with something called Dragon's Breath. It turns out it's an actual dragon that they had locked up, so I freed it. Most of this game is just you chasing Qunari through alluvions and beating them up at some points, and then chasing them some more, and then they beat you up at some points. But now they actually want to talk to us.
Dear Inquisitor, you have such little time left. You must finally see the truth. Elven magic already tore the sky apart. If the agents of Fen Harel are not stopped, you will shatter the world as well.
The Inquisition has nothing to do with these agents.
Come, Inquisitor. I am the eyes and ears of the Qunari people. Do you think you can deceive me? You would have died from the mark on your hand, but for the help of one of their chief agents. The same agent who helped seal the breach, who led you to Skyhold, who gave Corypheus the orb, then founded the Inquisition. Solas, agent of Fen Harel.
How utterly surprising.
Solas wanted that orb. If the agents of Fen Harel gave it to Corypheus, he couldn't be one.
Or perhaps he was tasked with removing the evidence of his group's interference. Solas tricked us all. He pushed a dying Qunari into the Winter Palace to lure you into opposing us. Without him, we could have brought the South peace and wisdom along the gentle path. Now we must take the way of blades. Panahaden, Inquisitor. If it is any consolation, Solas will not outlive you.
That's why Solas left. He's been helping us fight the Kunari all this time. We have to save him.
My anger is like actively trying to kill me now.
It's going to! Everyone back!
We must hope Solas can reverse the anchor's effects before it kills you. Solas, the agent of Fen Harel. I suspected something was off with our unwashed apostate.
After even more combat and accidentally blowing up my friends with the anchor, I entered the Alluvion by myself.
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maraskata!
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Qunari to trouble me no further.
Solas.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
The Qunari were trying to kill you. I wanted to get here first.
I know. They sought an agent to Fen Harel. I am no one's agent but my own. I fear that the truth is much simpler and much worse than the Qunari believe.
You're Fen Harel.
I was Solas first. Fen Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The DREADWOLF inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. And now you know. What is the old Baelish curse? May the DREADWOLF take you?
Our legends about you are wrong. I saw the truth as we traveled the crossroads.
You saw another story, written in desperation to give me more credit than I ever deserved.
If you had just told me...
Then you would carry the same burden I do.
I want to. Magellana Venan.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. Crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanurus down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the elven people, even if it means this world must die.
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this, but the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition, your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
For whatever it's worth, thanks for the castle.
For whatever it's worth, you used it well.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
I know, Venan. And we are running out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
Solas. Varlath vir Suladin.
I wish it could, Venan. My love. I will never forget you.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat. We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Qunari spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, you would not be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor. You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. But if the Inquisition now threatens the very stability it helped create, it is clear our time is done. We will not become what we once fought against. We do not have the luxury of corruption and complacency. If this organization has become too large to do its job, there is only one solution. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
In the end, I decided to disband the Inquisition. Oh, and I no longer have the anchor, or my arm. My Inquisitor never really wanted to be all of this. Throughout the game, I've made decisions that put me in the role of reluctant hero, and my character is also very emotionally driven, and I think she still loves Solas. We became this big out of necessity to complete our goal, but now we have a new goal, and in order to do that, we need to be free from political theater and outside influence. Before I say anything else, let's go back to the Solas confrontation. Damn, he looks good. Oh my god. Holy shit. May the Dreadwolf take you. Yeah, he may, and he can take me again. Thank you. Alright, simping aside, this whole scene is so beautifully tragic. I really wanted to play this out in a way that felt genuine to the character thus far. She still loves him and he still loves her. She feels wronged by him, but believes that he can be saved, and if anyone can convince him to stop, it's her. It's the entire reason that he pulled back from their relationship in the first place, aside from him being a coward. If he continued this relationship with her, he was going to give up on everything that he had worked for thus far. I think whether you romance him or if you're just his friend, the Inquisitor becomes this person that made him question everything he felt so justified in doing. The people of modern Thedas are not just a consequence of his own actions. He doesn't see them as real, and he can't see them as real because he wouldn't be able to go through with it. Honestly, how could anyone go through with that? And the fact that he fell in love with someone from this new world that he is seeking to destroy throws off everything for him. It just adds this whole other layer of depth to their story. And it is so beautiful and so tragic. Before I get into a full review, let's talk about where I ended the game based on my decisions. The Inquisition is disbanded, and everyone returns to their normal lives, knowing that they helped make a difference in the world. The Qun backed off, and they're starting to target Tevinter again, but that war might spread. Cassandra became an advisor to Leliana, while also rebuilding the Seekers. The College of Enchanters was impacted by our disbanding. Some of the enchanters broke off to form a new circle, led by Vivian. They are coexisting for now. Leliana reformed the Chantry and has been engineering the downfall of any opposition. I accidentally hardened her. Didn't know that was a thing. Sarah went back to her normal life with her girlfriend. Varric returned to Kirkwall as the Viscount. Bull and the Chargers went back to being mercenaries around Thedas. Cullen retired with his dog and set up a sanctuary for former Templars. Dorian went back to Tevinter and became a Magister, and formed a resistance group to try and redeem Tevinter from its gross history. Blackwall worked to redeem himself and inspire others. Josephine went home to Antiva and ran her family's estate. Cole, my son, returned to the Fade. A bunch of elves left Thedas, and no one knows where they went. And Llewellyn, that's me, has dreams where her lover is solemnly watching her from across an endless distance. Yet we still search for ways to change the Dreadwolf's heart.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solas knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
And with that, over 75 hours later, I finished Dragon Age Inquisition completely blind. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. It had everything that I love. Story, romance, adventure, interactive cutscenes, romance. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this game, and it has quickly become one of my top 10 gaming experiences of all time. I had so much fun. There are so many beautiful storylines to explore, and it is so worth playing even 10 years after its release. I was a little nervous about jumping into this game, having never played the first two. I knew it would be a little rough at the beginning, especially knowing nothing about the setting or the factions that people are split into. It definitely made things more difficult in the beginning, but not impossible. I came to understand it eventually. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just now getting into Dragon Age, and if you're feeling intimidated to start with this game, just remember the wiki and the game guides are your friends. I had a few moments, especially in the beginning, where I simply did not have enough context, so I had to consult the wiki, and it helped. There is no right or wrong way to play a game. As long as you're having fun, that's the most important thing. Should you play Inquisition before Veilguard? Yes, it was well worth over 75 hours of gameplay, and I got exactly what I wanted from the experience. I'm ready to play the next game. I'm excited to play the next game, even if I don't have all of the context from games 1 and 2. For my first experience with Dragon Age and with BioWare, I had a great time. I mostly talked about the story aspect of everything, but most of the time you spend in the game will be exploring open worlds, fighting things, closing rifts. This was probably my least favorite part of the game, just because it was so repetitive sometimes. My party barely talked to each other, which I've heard is a known bug. My biggest complaint has to do with the ambiguity and inaccuracy of certain dialogue choices. There were so many times where I would make a dialogue choice and my character would say something completely different. In one scene, I chose to say, "What happened?" And instead of genuine concern, like I had intended, sarcasm came out of her mouth. Like, that's not what I said. We shouldn't have to wonder or hope that our character is going to act out the choices that we make because the game makers decided to paraphrase and not always provide an indication of tone. I've also heard that some people don't like the war table. I don't really have a strong opinion about the war table. I think it made sense in the context of the game. The timer was probably unnecessary, but it did remind me to stop playing and go to bed, so I didn't hate it. I've also seen some pretty strong reactions to combat in this game. And just to be clear, I don't like combat in any game. I never enjoy it, I always struggle. That's a me problem. But I didn't have any particular negative feelings about the combat in this game. It was kind of the same as every other game for me, except in the Trespasser DLC. That was miserable. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I love romance in games, but it's usually a hit or a miss. This was definitely a hit. I may have chosen the most traumatic romance, but from what I've seen, all the other romance options are very fulfilling. I'm really excited to play more of them. Actually, I can't wait to get to play this again. I think I'm gonna start with Cullen next time because I can't stand it. I must have that man. I need him. Apparently, Solas has the least amount of romance content. Even so, I really enjoyed the romance, the yearning, the gentleness of it all. I guess we'll figure out in my next playthrough just how much more content there is in other routes. The real tragedy is that we can't give Solas a little kiss whenever we want. Just let me give him a little kiss on the forehead. A hug, I don't know. As I was editing, I realized that Solas only lies by omission. And this interaction from Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts puts a lot of things into perspective.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation.
I was literally hanging on to every word this man said, but I couldn't see the red flags through my rose-colored glasses. Anyway, I heard that you can get married in the Trespasser DLC if your lover is still present. Speaking of DLC, I know I only played one, except when I stumbled into the deep roads, but I wasn't super impressed by the story or the gameplay in Trespasser. Why? Why is the combat so hard? And also, why are we working to uncover a secret that we already know? The final confrontation with Solas was the only thing I had to look forward to. And it took me forever to get there because I kept getting my ass handed to me by every little dinosaur creature thing. I liked the politics of it all. I loved seeing our friends again. And the confrontation was so good. But I wish we'd gotten to learn that Solas is the DREADWOLF with our character in a big reveal instead of in a post-credit scene. I think that would have been more rewarding. In my opinion, the Qunari and the Illuvians felt like such weak plot devices compared to the story that we just played. All we did was chase Qunari and walk through Illuvians the whole time. I liked the DLC, I didn't love it. I did like the final scene. I just wish that we would have gotten to know at that moment. I wish I would have been in denial the whole time. I wish I hadn't seen it with my own 2 eyes before the confrontation. That, and I just lost my patience so many times in the combat in this DLC. Overall, I had a really good time. It was probably odd to start with the 3rd game in the series, but I'm really glad that I did. I'm super invested now, and I get to experience the game all over again with all of the context very soon. I already finished Origins, Awakening, and Witch Hunt, and I started DA2 last night. So it's been really fun just to get to play all the games and learn all the context. Super excited to finish playing these games, play Inquisition again, and then get into Veilguard. I'm so excited for Veilguard. But I want to know what happened in your game. Did you side with the mages or the Templars? Did you leave the Warden or Hawk behind? Did you romance Solas? I want to know. I want to know everything, and I want to see your Inquisitors, so feel free to leave a comment down below, tag me on Twitter, DM me. I want to see. If you liked hearing me yap, you should subscribe and come back. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching.